Bayer Leverkusen versus Arsenal, and we are back in the Champions League. And I tell you what a start it has been in the Champions League knockout stages. I'm going to turn this off 1 second. Um, Adjust that. Yeah, what a start it has been. You've got the likes of Liverpool, who have lost 1-0 to Galatasaray. And to be fair, Galatasaray is a good side. But if I had to choose between Galatasaray and Liverpool, I would choose to fight Galatasaray. Then you've got Newcastle Barcelona. That ended in a 1-1 draw. I think Barcelona got a penalty in that, if I'm not mistaken. And finally, the game that I was watching, and the game I think most Arsenal fans were probably watching, Atletico versus Tottenham. 5-2. What a game that was. And look, Tottenham, this competition is Tottenham's last chance to win any form of title in this season. And I didn't think it was likely. I don't think any Tottenham fan thought it was likely they'd win the Champions League. But right now, 5-2, it's a very steep hill to climb. But if you get knocked out of that, if you end up getting knocked out of the Champions League, and you've confirmed yourself to not win any trophy this season, then the only thing you've got left to fight for is the relegation battle. And I'm pretty sure most Tottenham fans would say, if they had to choose between getting relegated and winning the Champions League, or not getting relegated and not winning the Champions League, they would rather stay in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure most Tottenham fans would agree with that. But still, that's going to be demoralising if you get knocked out of the Champions League, your last chance to win a trophy, and you've been confirmed trophyless. And look, they haven't performed well in the Premier League whatsoever, and it will probably get worse at this rate, especially these next 2 games that they've got, or these next 3 games that they've got, sorry, because they've got Liverpool, then they have to go and play Atletico in the reverse fixture, and then they have to play Nottingham Forest, and that last game is going to be massive for Tottenham. You look at the position they're in right now. If they lose all 3 of those games, I think Tottenham's sodded. But back on the topic of Arsenal. We've had some good news actually on the injury front. Triple boost, I believe they called it, because they said that Ricardo Calafiori, Leandro Trossard, and Saliba were all seen in training. Thankfully, still no word on Martin Odegaard or Ben White, unfortunately. But Ricardo Calafiori, Trossard, and Saliba, all 3 names that we're gonna need. And let's have this right. That's a very strong team that we have, even without Martin Odegaard, Ben White, and Mikel Mourinho. Those sorts of injuries, if we can limit those to just those 3, those sorts of injuries are manageable. But as long as we don't go crazy with these injuries now, because this is a game, this point in the season right now, it's more of a war of attrition as things stand. And if we're avoiding injuries and we're picking up points, then that's all we need to do. There's also a case that I heard where, because Man City have to play both Chelsea and Arsenal, if they lose both of those games and Arsenal win their next 3, Arsenal would need to win 6 more points to officially win the Premier League. As things stand, I believe Man City can end right now on 87 points. If you take 6 points away from that, 81, and if we won against, if we're at that point in time, we would be 76, I believe. So that would mean we have to beat Newcastle and then beat Fulham. And if we've pulled that off, we've won the league. But let's not get ahead of ourselves right now. This is about what we can control, what we at Arsenal can control, and what we can do is beat Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not going to ask for too much and say we're going to beat them 4-5-0. I just want us to beat them, to get that aggregate on our side, so that when they come to the Emirates, they're the ones with the disadvantage. And coming to the Emirates alone has been a massive disadvantage for most teams. we've only lost, I believe, one game all season at the Emirates Stadium, and that was against Man United. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I do believe I'm correct. Now, where we stand with this, we're still fighting on all four fronts, and it will be so important to get a win in this game to strengthen our position in the Champions League front. And after that, we will probably get, what was it? It was one of Bodo Glimt and Sporting, and those two teams, just like Bayern Leverkusen, they are beatable. And the nice thing as well, I will say, the nice thing about European football is that European clubs tend to play more openly than English clubs, and I've noticed that quite a lot. Playing in the Champions League, you look at the opposition we have played previously. You look at how they play compared to the rest of the Premier League. So I do think they will be more open, Bayern Leverkusen. But I also think in this kind of game, we do have to be a tad bit careful because of how much football a lot of players have been playing. But anyways, let me get into my starting 11 now. And starting off in goal, I'm going to say David Raya. It's a pretty simple choice. I don't need to explain that one. The centre-back pairing of Gabriel Magalhaes, and even though Saliba's back, we have to be a bit careful with him. So I'm going to say start Mosquera for now. But I do want to see William Saliba get substituted on. On the right back, I'm going to say Jurrien Timber. He's made a comeback. He had like a small period where he was getting a bit, I don't want to say shit, but he was getting a bit, well, you know what I mean, a bit iffy. However, as of recently, he's really pulled himself back in, and I think if he can continue this this form that he's on, I do think that we've got our Jurrien Timber back. And in the left back position, it's going to have to be Piero Hincapié. And let's be honest, Hincapié's made that left back position his own. You look at how he's been playing, he's been all over the place, up and down the pitch. And he's performed so well for such a young player. And I'm so glad to have him officially now on a permanent. We already had him more or less on a permanent. I believe it was an obligation to buy. But now that's been cranked down on, and we've got our man officially. Now, in the midfield, I'm going to start us off with Declan Rice. And let's be honest, Declan Rice, his box-to-box play will be so important here. I still think, though, give that man the leadership, the captain's armband. He's got the leadership for it. And with him, I'm going to say Martin Zubimendi. Now, here's where I'm going to get a little bit different from what I normally would say. I'm going to start us off in the attacking midfield with Eberechi Eze. I think he's going to find the space in this kind of game. I think this game would really suit someone like Eberechi Eze. On the left side of him, I'm going to say Martin Zubimendi. And it's not really anything against Trossard. I think... did I say Martin Zubimendi? Sorry. Martinelli. That's what I meant to say. Martinelli. And the reason I say that is because I think that pace and, again, the openness I think he may find will come really in handy in this kind of game. And on the right side of Eze, I'm going to say Noni Madueke. And that's for two reasons, really. For one, I think Noni Madueke will find a lot more space in these kind of games. And I do think that his direct football might actually get a goal contribution or two from Bayer Leverkusen. And the second reason is because Bukayo Saka, I think we give him a break this game so that he can be a bit more ready against Everton. And of course, up front, it's going to have to be Victor Gyökeres. As I say, I think the space that man might find, he could genuinely be really dangerous. And you see the runs that he has to make. The only thing that I'm a bit worried about is whether or not he gets the service. Because if we give him the service, I think he scores in this game. But anyways, this game, as I say, it's really important right now for us to just get the job done. Please, Arsenal, I'm begging you. Anyways, that's it for the match preview But let me know what you think down below. Like, share, and comment, and please do subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I will see you in the match watch along. What time is it actually? Sorry, 1 second. Shouldn't be too bad, should it? I mean, it is on a Wednesday. Just take your time. Oh, I'll make that. Yeah. I'll see you in the match watch along for Bayer Leverkusen versus Arsenal. Goodbye for now.